Hello, YouTube. This is Lady Duchess, and tonight I'm going to be talking about so you want to be a witch. Um, the reason why I wanted to talk about this subject is because today a beautiful, beautiful witch, a sister witch, decided that that's what she wanted to be, and her question was, um, "Can I be one?" And I'm like, "Were you called?" Did the path call you? That's just like the first question that you should always kind of ask yourself. So it kind of motivated me to do this video because there might be other people who are wondering, like, I want to be a witch. Starting out, there's some real issues that should be discussed right after the beginning statement. So I want to be a witch. The first thing that the seeker, because that's what you become, the seeker of knowledge, you should know that there's a lot of knowledge that we possess today about witchcraft and its origins, and it's a combination of like archaeological data, myths, and legends that kind of have been passed down historically with historical documents that have been translated, and the rest is conjecture based guesses and of scholars and bringing it all together. In other words, there's no one can say for certain what the ancestors really did and why. Some might disagree with me, and that's totally fine. I'm totally okay with it. um, but that doesn't mean that we have no knowledge, and we certainly do. You know, it's just that we don't have the historical knowledge of like the origins of the modern craft. There's so many retrospective positions of it, where it started from in Africa, and you have your Celtic, and there's just so many different brands, um, so to speak, of the craft. But nothing is wrong. I mean, that's the wonderful thing about the craft is that you can choose what it is that you want to do, right? It's not like the Abrahamic religion, um, where you have to follow a certain thing. The great thing is you can start it as a Wiccan and you can, progressively, something else can choose you and motivate you about what you want to do and practice. Um, the first thing is, I would say, if you want to be a witch, is you are expected to do a lot of research on your own. Like I cannot tell you that it's going to be easy. There are a lot of things you're gonna have to research on your own. This is actually like a really healthy approach. The beginning of the study of the path is that you're considering is that you read, study, read on your own. Um, the best thing to do is find metaphysical stores in your area. Also, whole food stores, health food stores, and stuff like that. That's a great resource. Another thing is you have social media. Social media got 27,000 Wicca, witch, druid, voodoo, hoodoo, all type of groups. I mean, I have a group of my own. It's called Infinite Energy. It's small, but I like to keep it that way because it's something that I can maintain and control and not put it on a lot of people and a lot of admin people or whatever. But that's neither here nor there. But that's what you should do. You should read as many books as you can. Why? Because you're going into like unknown waters. And so you should approach it with like an open mind, ready to question, probe, and ponder type of way. I cannot overestimate how useful this first step will be, but it can help you formulate your own ideas and decide what the path means to you. Because the path means, different things to everybody. To me, it saved my life. It did. I searched all over trying to avoid something that had always been there, that my mother who raised me, that she taught me. I didn't want to be like her, but I didn't know that there were different things that I could do. Um, so that's where your research and stuff comes in. One thing I will say is don't try to incorporate everything you read, um, as a cohesive whole in the beginning. Look at whatever material you're reading as a theory or hypothesis of what witchcraft is. Some things will appeal to you right away. Some things will captivate you and choose you. Other things will kind of seem off the wall and are too fantastic to be of use. Accept or reject nothing at this stage. Just keep gathering information. You're doing the research. The more you read, the more coming together of certain aspects will begin to form within yourself. And that's the foundation that you will take to go to your next step. Um, and it harm none, do as you will. So, what I would say is you saw a movie, right? You read a few books, you stumbled across the website, you talked to someone who said that she was a witch, and now you have an interest in the craft, right? Many seekers at this point rush to the nearest message board and cry out, "Teach me everything you know." That's their reaction, right? And so that could be kind of dangerous because if you're not careful, you'll either come in contact with the wannabe who's really not a good witch. They're really not a witch, period. They just have a love for the craft. And I'm going to drink a little tea on that. Excuse me. Or you have people who are newbie seekers. They're like vampires. They love to pick on people, and I'm not gonna say pick on people, but they prey on new witches who are learning or who are wanting to learn new information about the craft. So be really, really careful about that. Yeah, be really careful about that. Keep asking questions. Ask them for references. Most people, if they have been in the craft and they do spiritual work or they do root work, like I do root work, but you're supposed to be able to have references. If you've been doing root work, if you've been busy and you've been helping people and healing people and correcting situations that they have wronged and they're willing to accept responsibility for it, you should be able to. Um, Damn, what was I gonna say? You should be able to have like a reference. It's like 11:07. You should be able to have references. Um, the witchcraft is like a path. It's very deep. I mean, it cannot be summed up in 25 words or less. I mean, you have to learn to ask specific questions. How do you learn to ask specific questions? You have to read, take notes, research. Um, that's where research comes in. Reading, I mean, formulating your own ideas, your own hypotheses, your own theories. That's how you learn. That's how you decide what path is the best path for you. Um, and think about this. This author writes this way to cast a circle, yet the other states to do it this way. Okay, let me find another opinion about that. And then you kind of formulate your own. The thing about witchcraft is, and you doing craft work is, you can listen to 100 different people, right? You can read a million spells, but you can do this your own because the power is within you. So that's why I say research and then you formulate your own opinion, your own path, what works best for you, because you might be a witch and you're a natural witch. A natural witch is someone, they really don't use tools. It's just they manifest, they make stuff happen. And that's kind of more so of what I am. However, there might be someone else who they need everything, and there's nothing wrong with it. I have been doing witchcraft for a while. This is my wand, and I just got this like 2 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I was literally at the metaphysical store, and it just called to me, and I was like, okay, I need that. So this is what I suggest that you do, like the interest phase of like do's and don'ts. And this is probably going to be like a part one and a part two video, only because it's just so much information. Do read as many books on the subject matter, history, myths, poetry, psychology, science, anything that has to do with witchcraft or magic. Oh, I think that was my husband. Do make yourself like a research library. Take notes, highlight passages that particularly interest you. If you have questions on what's written, place a question mark by the passage. You should enjoy what you read at this stage because you're excited. Um, and that'll help you retain because some of this stuff is like, go sleep. If you like alchemy, whatever it is, like take notes. Do start a journal. They call them also a book of shadows. Um, start it. Start it. You can. It could be a loose leaf notebook. These things are often kind of like helpful if you create a different section for everything. Write down all the things you found of interest and things you would like to know more about. That'll help you. Do look at nature. Witchcraft and most other pagan paths are called earth or nature based religions. What is nature saying to you? Bring home rocks, sticks, leaves, and other things that you find that will attract your attention. And then ask yourself, why did I bring this home? Write it down. The next thing, get organized. Concentration is like the most important skill in magic. Discipline yourself to make regular entries into your journal, writing things down. It helps you develop and also it helps you concentrate and get grounded. The second thing, another thing is on the do list. Learn how to ask specific questions of other witches or pagans when you need help. Ask some questions yourself, like what do you think witchcraft is? What does it mean to you? Like, what is the meaning of it? Like, ask questions like that from because every witch gonna have like a different answer. Um, tell the truth. Um, can seasoned witches tell if someone's full of it? Oh yes, they can. And they can tell rather fast too. And be honest, about what you know and you don't know, about what you want to learn, what you don't want to learn. Um, be careful of the people that you surround yourself around as far as teaching you because you don't want them to bleed you of your energy because they will do that. They will drain you dry. You can also have like really bad experiences. So be really careful of that. Spend time alone to think about carefully, like how you feel about everything. What do you want for yourself? Some people think that witchcraft will allow them to change other people and circumstances, but you will be the one who changes as you explore this path. Do you really want change? A couple of things. I'm gonna say a couple of things. A few things. I'm gonna say don't do. Don't take it too fast. This is not a race. You have not made any commitments yet. You're doing research into a subject that interests you on a personal level. So jumping into a group situation at this point, it kind of may hinder your development more than helping it. You'll need to find out where you are going before you hit the trail with someone else. And I'm going to especially say that about like covens and stuff like that. And I am not speaking against covens because I actually have one of my own. It's called Daughters of Infinity, and I love them. But anyway, um, don't rush it. Like take your time. The path and the craft, it's called the path for a reason because it is something that you will be looking into your whole life. You will be forever the student. Forever the student. Don't get discouraged. Sometimes it's difficult to go it alone, but the craft is made up of individuals who will bring something of value to the path as well, and receive benefits from it. Many old timers have like the grandpa attitude. When I was your age, I had to walk 3 miles to school every day in the snow with no boots on, carrying my little sister on her back and a load of firewood in my hand. Well, in a way, that's true. It was much harder to be a witch decades ago. So be forgiving if they're not ready to hand you the firewood on a silver platter and you got to walk a mile or two in the snow with no boots yourself. It's called paying your dues. Everybody have to humble themselves. This is a lot of information. Um, don't be so quick to join a coven. A coven is like a close knit group that kind of work together. It's a difficult process to create an effective magical unit. Most covens are not actively looking for new members. So each time a new person is added to the group, it takes time to readjust the unit. There are some cyberspace covens that readily accept new members. If you look into training exercises, you can learn a few things. Just kind of ask around on the internet. Um, Don't be afraid because you're not a part of a group. Many witches find out after trial and error that they actually prefer to work alone. They're called solitary witches. Traditionally, the witch was a loner, and many still are by choice. So often, solitary witches they get together too and exchange information and go back to their solitary practices. You could do a little bit of both. If you're still interested and you want to go into further, I will do another video on. Okay, now I'm a witch. Now what? Again, my name is Lady Duchess. You can find me on Facebook, and you can also find me on my group, Infinite Energy. Um, Thank you again. I'll put my email below for petitions and spell work or whatever it is that you want to do. I hope you enjoyed this video and welcome to the path. And don't let anything change you. The path chose you for a reason. Love you. Bye.